All right. Hello, everybody. Meteorologist Hutch Johnson joining you. Some smoky air, a few showers working their way through, and noticeably cooler temperatures are on their way. I'll have details in your forecast and what we can expect coming up right now on this version of Hutch's
Now,
Weather.
a Hutch's Weather Update with Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson. Brought to you by Robert Gibb and Sons.
All right, something to keep in mind is that good old-fashioned sump pump. You never know when it's going to come in handy. Have you had yours checked? Call my friends at Robert Gibb and Sons. They can check that out for you real quick. And not only that, did you know that they can hook that thing right up to your cell phone so it can give you alerts and also hook up a battery backup system? A little bit of peace of mind never hurt. And my friends at Robert Gibb and Sons can do the job for you. Give them a call today. Please tell them Hutch sent you. Now let's take a look at what we have going on the radar. But first, as always, drop a note. Let me know where you're watching from. And if you have any comments, questions at all, let me know. I'll be happy to answer those, as is always the case. And remember to give my Facebook page a follow and my YouTube channel a subscription by hitting the subscribe button. All right, let's take a look at that radar as we head into the evening hours now. We do have some showers that are showing up as we set this into motion. Essentially, they're moving from southwest to northeast across the region. So there's a heavier pool of showers in the western one half of South Dakota. We do have some heavier showers moving through parts of northwestern Minnesota right now, but nothing is severe. And at this particular time, it looks like good old-fashioned heavy rain heading right over the Red Lakes area. So the upper Red Lake, the lower Red Lake, both seeing some accountable precipitation as it's moving right over that mid-island stretch there, land stretch. The Ponema area, as well as just areas north of Red Lake and off to the west of you in the Kelleher area. Now, as we take a look, Bemidji, we're seeing some showers, but there's even more in Clearwater County, Bagley to Clearbrook to Solway, heading off to the east-northeast right now. Things a little damp as we look in the eastern reaches of Polk County and up towards Red Lake County there in the Oakley area and Halstead. You also see a few showers that are stretching through the Shelley area right now. That's it. We got a big break going on in the forecast area here of southeast North Dakota and the eastern 1/3 of North Dakota, minus the possibility of a couple of sprinkles showing up in Grand Forks right now. But the main event for us, as we talked about on a later model run last night, if you joined me, that the late night hours will bring the better chance for some scattered showers of rain here in southeast North Dakota. So that's a look at what's going on there. Now, let's take a look at your forecast as we head through the next 24 hours. And what you're going to notice with regards to the forecast is we have some cooler air heading in, and I'll load up the models talking details about what we can expect with rainfall timing for your hometown, minus, of course, northwest Minnesota. Let's take a look at your forecast temperatures as we go through the evening hours tonight. Whoops, let me get that out of the way. Okay, here we go. Notice the blue. Oh my goodness. Yes, that's right. I do not think it would be out of the air of caution tonight to say some upper 30s will be possible in places like Crosby, in places like Bowbells, in places along the international border, not far from you folks in the Bottineau area, Renville County, as well as Ward County, some mid 40s possible there. Near the Minot Air Base. That's right, 40s, 50 degrees as we look into Wells County for your morning temperature tomorrow. Northwest winds. That means the wind is coming from the area where the cool pool is. Notice how quickly things ramp up, though, as we get into the Red River Valley, mid-50s here, then near 60s into central and southern Minnesota, including our lakes counties in Ottertail County. That's a look at your forecast as we go through the overnight hours. The morning chance of showers will mainly be across Minnesota, and it will last there throughout the day. Now, northwest winds will keep us on the cool side of things as we go through the forecast period on your Thursday. Just check out these temperatures and notice all of the 60s that you see there. And indeed, the 70s are kind of difficult to pick out. Let's go through some of the details here. The coldest pool of air will be in the Arrowhead of Minnesota, where we will see some spots that are picking up temperatures in the mid-50s there on the North Shore. That's some mighty cold air. Looking at Bemidji and Brainerd, some low to mid-60s for the afternoon. And yes, we'll have passing showers making their way through the area as we go through the afternoon of your Thursday. Something else to keep in mind as we're looking off to the west, it's not going to be hot there either, with one of the warmer temperatures showing up in Pierre, South Dakota at 70, Mitchell at 70 to 71 degrees, Bismarck close to that, Minot same thing. So a nice cool day. Northwest winds at 12 to 27 miles per hour will be on order as we head through that period of time. So now let's take a look here at the high resolution model, and we'll take a look at our chance of some thunder shower activity for the night tonight. So let me go ahead and load this up here as I'm doing that right now off the camera, and then we'll load it up for you. So as things are getting fired up here, our temperatures as we go through the day tomorrow will suffer a huge setback from 80s for some down into the 60s and even 50s. Planning forecast looks like this. Temperatures in the 60s Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. That's cold. The coldest will happen in our area on Friday night and into your Saturday morning. Look at that digit, 39 degrees. Then I want to highlight this, that record low in Fargo, 26 degrees. That is for the day on Thursday. So we can get mighty cold this time of the year. Keep that in mind. Temperatures start their rebound on Sunday, and I don't see much in the way of rain once we get through this late week system here. Only a few sprinkles in Minnesota on Thursday and into Friday. Other than that, it looks like the heat returns with some 80s in store for next week. All right, we're going to take a look at some of your questions that you may have here, and then I'll get back to your forecast details on the hour-by-hour forecast. So let me take a look here and see what we have for questions. All right, here we go. Thanks again for joining me. I got some big announcements coming soon. Tracy, how does Kitson County look? Well, there's some showers dancing around your area. We'll get to that. Nathan, good to have you on board as well. Clarine, thanks for joining me. I appreciate you very much. Lee, thanks for joining from Devil's Lake. And I'm looking for questions. Alan says, North Fargo, looking forward to some nice warm weekend weather. Looks pretty cool to start the weekend, Alan, but comfortable. A little on the chilly side, though, on that Saturday morning. It'll certainly feel that way. Mike says needing some rain in the Purim area out there. And there's a few areas that are like that. Simon, good to have you on board as well. Howdy from Vining. Cheryl says watching from Park Rapids, and it's wonderful to have all of you on. How about the wildfire smoke for the weekend? Denise, it looks like it's going to be here with some choking areas of smoke. So now as we turn our attention toward the forecast model here, let me go ahead and plug that in, and you'll get a chance to see what it is that we're going to be looking for as we head through, well, the late week and into the weekend. So here's what you need to know as we go ahead and put up the model timeline up at the top here, trying to learn how to make sure that everybody has access to that. This computer model is one computer model that we use to look forward to. And again, as we head through our afternoon, you'll see it's doing a fairly good job of pinpointing the showers in northwest Minnesota and this batch in the western parts of South Dakota. These are moving in a northeasterly direction. So what time can we expect them to arrive? And how about you in Kitson County? Let's take a look. The best chance of showers in Kitson County come in the right now period. And then there's a break, but there is a little chance of a couple sprinkles as we go toward the wee hours of the morning. So if you happen to be out and walk the tortoise tonight, on a leash, of course, that's the law. It looks like 1:45 in the morning. There could be a Kitson County sprinkler out there. Now, the best chance for showers to make their way into the Southern Valley, this does include Fargo-Moorhead, even though this particular model says most of the shower chances will be Otter Tail County, Hubbard County, and Park Rapids, and points down to the south and west towards Aberdeen. There'll be a chance, but it doesn't get here until really after the evening hours. So again, if you happen to be outdoors in the late night hours, be ready for a few sprinkles passing through. Now, behind it is the cold front. The wind becomes northwesterly, and that's the cool pool working its way down into our area as we showed you on the temperature forecast map. So setting this into motion as we head into your midday hour, the wind will be northwesterly. The chance of any shower activity in Minnesota looks to be in the afternoon. Check this out as we go through. There'll be a little bit of a weather wiggle working its way through and just a couple of sprinkles here and there. Most of us stay dry. So it will be dry but windy from the northwest and cool. More sunshine out to the west as well. In places like Bismarck as we go through the afternoon hours. So that is a look at some of the forecast details with the timing for our showers and storms. And now let's take a peek at some of the temperatures, shall we? I want to take a look at this. Here's a look at the temperature trend. And this is the National Weather Service forecast, but it gives you the idea. The warmer weather now has suppressed itself down into parts of South Dakota. And speaking of now, let's take a look at now temperatures across the area. Here we go. Look at the heat down near Huron, Pierre, and point south towards Sioux Falls. Do you like the new look, by the way? Drop a comment. Let me know. Trying to work on these maps so that your town shows up when it's supposed to and getting all the lines and the fun. I call it eye-bleeding work to make the graphics look sharp. If you like them, let me know. Here again is a look at the heat that's on. We're going to see temperatures, or we are seeing temperatures now that are hitting the 90s down near O'Neill in Nebraska, as we also have some pretty good heat making its way all the way up into Montevideo and Morris with the 80s. So I was talking a high of 80 today in Fargo, but those clouds, you can see they just settled in. We're stuck in the 70s here. We have low 70s Fargo, low 80s though in Park Rapids, not too far from the 80s in Otter Tail County, including the Battle Lake area right now. So that's where the heat is. Here's where the heat is not. Check it out. Up in Regina right now, you see the blue colors there. That's temperatures in the heating part of the day, mid-50s for temperatures there. Around Fort Peck Reservoir, we have some 80s there that have returned to the scene. But look at the high country out here south of Billings. As you get into the mountains outside of Sheridan, we have some 30s and 40s in the mountains there. Mighty chilly air. And look at this in northwest portions near Yellowstone out there as we take a look at those mountain temperatures that are dipping down into the low 40s. So that's a look at temperatures right now. Now let's take a look at the temperature trend, shall we? Let's zoom in on our area and talk about this. All right, here we go. Pushing the button, shazam. Temperature trend, boom, here we go. Let's zoom into our neck of the woods. And how close do we want to get? Let's go with that. Ooh, do you like this view or do you like this view? Do we want to spin it this way? Oh yeah, Hutch is having fun with his new toolbox here. Okay, there we go. Let's spin this puppy over here. Let's take a look at these temperatures. I better make it just a little bit more bird's eye view so we can have a look at more communities. All right, here we go. Now, as we go through the evening tonight, notice the heat down south. That's the red temperatures that are in the 70s and even some 80s down there near Sisseton. Now, we put this puppy into motion. What you're going to notice about the forecast as we go through the overnight hours, watch the blue coming into the picture from the left. So as we get to 11 o'clock tonight, if you happen to be out in Bow Bells walking the llama, make sure you don't shave the llama too close because it's going to get a little on the chilly side. Those blues would indicate temperatures that will be pushing into the 50s as we go through the early part of the overnight. Look, it's not even midnight yet. Then as we go through the deep overnight, oh no, look at that. That's some mighty cool temperatures in northwest Minnesota in the oil patch. So from Stanley to Crosby, Williston and above, we're talking low to mid 40s for a few spots. And dare I say, a couple upper 30s will be in store for the oil patch of northeast Montana and northwest North Dakota. What about our neck of the woods down here in Fargo-Moorhead? We're expecting temperatures to be generally near 60 degrees for Fargo as we go into the 6 a.m. time frame, but some 50s up there to the north. So it does look like we're going to be on that cool side to get your morning started on Thursday. Afternoon temperatures, nothing too warm. Notice the deep reds are out of here. We're going to see temperatures peak only near 70 degrees for the vast majority of us along and north of Interstate 94. So we take a look at the temperature readouts here. We're seeing New Fulton, Red Bee, all the way out to Grand Forks, mid 60s. Look at the far north near Langdon and Bow Bells. Woo-wee, 60 degrees. That's light jacket weather after the heat and humidity we've had the last several days. So some of us may struggle to get out of the 50s and only briefly so. Look at this. This is 1:30 in the afternoon. Then as we head into the overnight hours, look at where the blue cool pool moves in. This is as we go from Thursday night into Friday morning. Northern portions of Minnesota, Rainy Lake, International Falls, seeing temperatures sliding away all the way down into the cool digits in the 30s and 40s possible there. And that sticks around into the weekend. So that's a look at the temperature trend as we go through. I know I did have a question about the smoke. Are you still there? Did you have any other questions? Let's take a look here. Looks like Brenda loves the 50s. Yay for cool timing for the rain. Yeah. Hopefully I answered that question with regards to the rain timing. BA, tell me where you're asking from and I can better answer that question. But I can basically show you that we're expecting only a few 100ths to maybe a couple tenths of an inch of rain. But as we go through the overnight hours, there'll be an isolated spot or two that get a little bit more than that. So I'll go ahead and load that up for you because I can right here on the model. And let me go ahead and pull up, let's go with the model forecast of rainfall here. Okay, let me see. Let's look at this. This model right here, this one has some rainfall forecasts, total precipitous precipitation as we go into the day on Wednesday in the morning. So look at this. The blue colors show where this model says the rain is going to fall. And again, when we highlight what these values mean, I want you to focus on the exact precise location that this model's predicting rain. We can't predict exactly where thunder showers or heavy bands of little tiny showers will be. Notice these little pencil lines, these streaks. These are passing convective showers, and those can set up pretty much anywhere. So the potential for this is going to be around 1/2 inch of rain for a few spots, maybe a little more, but more likely a little less. So anywhere from a trace to 1/2 inch of rain heading our way as we go through the night tonight, and mainly as we go into the mid-morning tomorrow. There'll be spotty showers, as we showed you in the forecast as well, for places of northwest Minnesota. Looking for questions here. Make sure I got those answered for you. Let's talk about the smoke and when it'll get here. And you know what? It's going to stick around until our wind becomes more southerly again. So we have north winds setting up tonight, and they're going to come back. It's going to come back in earnest. Do you want to see what it looks like on satellite? Let me show you this. The visible satellite imagery here shows the smoke as this grayish pall. You see that over parts of Iowa and Nebraska? Right here, we see this leading edge of gray blah. And that blah is working its way in behind the cold front. There's a little clear patch back here from the cool, dry air heading from parts of Western Canada. But what's coming in from the north behind this is some very splucky air that's been really susceptible to those fires. So there is smoke moving in with these showers. Now, the good news is rain will help wash it away a little bit, but not enough, because the north winds are not only going to bring that down from the Canadian fires, but mix it down toward the ground. So keep that in mind. Let's take a look at that forecast for smoke. I have one real good model that does a pretty good job of this, and we can only go out about 24 to 48 hours. And the reason why is because some fires get under control, new fires start up, and it can change the forecast drastically. So smoke is not something that we see computer forecast models go out too far on with regards to their forecasting of it. This one only goes out about 48 hours. Let me pull up the most recent available model for you. Here we go. Shazam. Okay, look at this nonsense. Wherever you see this deep red color here, that is some nasty choking smoke that you can smell. I heard from a couple of folks today in the comments that it was really stinky and this smoke had a weird smell to it. Well, it's mixing all the way up in the atmosphere, mixing back down, and some of this smoke, when it gets to wildfires, has burned just about everything in its path, including a lot of, everything from fuel that's available on the ground in the form of dead trees to homes to, maybe even some rubber tires and stuff. So you can get some pretty nauseous and even toxic chemicals that work their way in with the smoke, and that's what makes it so hard for folks with respiratory illnesses. Now, here is it punching into northwest Minnesota, Fargo, Moorhead, Grand Forks, where you see the oranges and reds. The air quality is going to be extremely low. Some of the stronger levels will be in northwest Minnesota, where an air quality alert has been issued. I will say this again. There is no system in place to issue air quality alerts for North Dakota. But the levels here in eastern North Dakota as we go into Thursday morning, very early, will be nasty, and as nasty as they are in most of parts of Minnesota. Look at this. It starts diving straight south along the Red River Valley counties of Minnesota with terrible air conditions, air quality, I should say, in places like Beltrami County, basically the headwaters of the Mississippi, all the way into the Red River Valley as we go through Thursday. Continuing on with the smoke forecast, you'll see a little bit of a reprieve from things as we go through the latter part of your Thursday, and then a little fresher air starts to trail or tail in. That's a look at what's near the surface. What about the complete depths of the atmosphere? Making sure I pushed on the right button. Here we go. We'll go quickly, and you'll see that there are a few puffs of smoke that make their way Thursday and into Friday that will zip through on the upper level parts of the winds. So just because it looks like it's clear doesn't mean that we won't see the impacts of smoke in your forecast. That's a pretty comprehensive look. Thank you so very, very much for joining me. If you missed it, I have a big announcement coming. Allow me, if you wouldn't mind, this, and drop a comment if you're still watching. For the big announcement is here. Hutch's weather is cruising forward and continues to grow. You won't want to miss this. It's the big announcement this Thursday, September the 5th at 8 p.m. live on Facebook. And don't forget to bring your ideas. All right, that's right. I do have a very big announcement coming up tomorrow, so please make sure you tune in. It'll be at 8 o'clock. It'll be a Facebook Live, but I'm efforting to try to make sure it's going to be visible as well on hutchesweather.com. That's the website. So if you haven't been there, I sure would appreciate you heading over to hutchesweather.com. Speaking of which, I'll take you over there real quickly and just show you a look at the interactive radar there. Made a little fine-tuning adjustment on the radar, but as you zoom in, I got a couple of things I'd like to tell you. Number one, I would love to have you enter your email address. This allows me to tap you on the shoulder and say, I'm going live. We have severe weather in the area. I will not abuse this. I'm not selling your information, none of it. And you can also unsign up or unsubscribe to this service. But essentially, it gives me the ability to, better than any platform, tap you on the shoulder and say, I think the weather is something that you want to pay attention to today. Interactive radar lets you zoom in, zoom out, and even if you're visiting Alaska out here, you can see what's going on out there. And look at the showers in Anchorage and Homer. Oh my goodness. And as we look out towards Juneau, wow, got some showers moving into Sitka as well. Now, if you're in Regina right now, things are looking like we're going to have some showers pushing in with cool air. And in the Gulf Coast states, wow, some tropical rains making their way through places like Little Rock, Nebraska, the Mississippi Delta in towards Nolens, as well as the western shores of Florida. So the interactive radar here keeps you ahead of the weather by allowing the website here to ask where your location is. You can get the very latest in your forecast information at the top. If I'm going live, it'll tell you up at the top. And please keep my friends on the top bar in mind here, like KAJ Hospitality. They have a number of properties right here in the Fargo-Moorhead area, and you can scroll through them and find out more details, but they are the perfect place not only to have family and friends rest their heads while they're visiting, but for you to have your functions, be it a wedding or some sort of a convention. All of these properties have specialized folks that can get the job done, well, in the most comfortable of environments. So visit my friends over there at KAJ Hospitality. Give them a call. Tell them Hutch sent you. And again, at the very bottom of the page, you're going to find some fun information like where you can upload your photos and pictures. So thanks very much for watching. For now, I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson. I hope you have a good evening. I'll check back in a little bit later. And remember, look for me tomorrow for the big announcement. I cannot wait to share the details with you. And please don't forget to bring your ideas, because after all, much of what I effort to do is based on and prioritized by your suggestions and your requests. Have a wonderful evening. Stay warm. And the showers hit the Southern Valley much later tonight, well after dinner.